Good morning.
Good morning.
You are Donald Cogdill,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is 26 DCCR 0005. Mr. Cogdill was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to evading arrest or detention with previous convictions, and also pled true to prior convictions, making this offense a second-degree felony. The agreement was for a cap of 8 years in prison. I received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor, and I want to commend Justin Riley on what a great report he wrote. He really did it.
Ms. Malfino,
I have, Judge.
any additions or corrections?
None, Your Honor.
Judge, obviously, I am aware that the criminal history is of concern to the court. As you know from the indictment, the underlying offense itself is a state jail felony. And the offer was made just predicated on the nature of that offense with these priors. I'll defer to whatever you think is appropriate, if in fact you think 8 is enough. No, I'm intended.
So I want to make sure, what's the status with parole? You're on parole, correct?
Yes.
Have you had a hearing out at the jail? Have they come to the jail for a hearing? Have you talked to anyone with parole about this case?
Somebody called over there. I don't know who it was.
Okay.
Said something about parole, not parole, but like, I don't know, I don't understand what he was saying.
Okay, there's a hold on him, correct? Sure. Mr. Parker, you may proceed.
I've had this same issue trying to figure some of this stuff out, Judge. I've talked to him, and the facts of this case, I mean, to my understanding, what the probation calls it, he was living in a transitional house. And I've talked about where he's going to live. He intends to go back to the transitional house, and he was working there in the kitchen. And the facts are that he was out. It started pouring down rain. He went to a house. He was on a back porch that he thought was vacant, and he was on the porch getting out of the rain. And 5 cop cars pulled up. And as he says in his report, I asked him, "Why did you run?" And he said, "Well, 5 cars pulled up and I got scared." And I mean, I've heard that a lot, but I mean, I think he's sincere in that. Not that it's justifiable, but that's what happened. He wasn't trying to break in the house, and that's what happened in this case. And I would point to the probation officer that thinks he might respond better to a structured guidance than to extended incarceration. It's in the top paragraph on page 5, the last sentence. And that's kind of my position. I think the last time he was in trouble, well, he's obviously been incarcerated, but was in 2017. I clearly think that the probation office has pointed out everything that's about him thoroughly in this report, and just going back to his childhood, how he's raised and how he's lived, and his educational standing and his mental capacity. I think he's competent, but it's not as high as a lot of people that are out there, and he struggles to get by. But if it's possible, I think we would request he be allowed to be placed on probation. Understand the question about parole. Otherwise, we ask for on the lower end.
Small Fino.
Judge, I really don't have much additional. I don't think he's a suitable probation candidate, although inference can be made from the offense itself that could have very easily turned into a burglary. I'm just glad we're not here on an offense involving him actually being inside someone's home or involving a child. So, but based on the mitigating factors pointed out by Mr. Riley, I'd ask the court to consider the 8.
So, Mr. Cogdill, I appreciate your attorney's argument. I understand. I can see that there's some issues cognitively. However, there's no doubt that you understand what's going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been sent to prison 6 times, and you're currently on parole for 3 burglary of a habitations, delivery of a controlled substance, evading arrest or detention with a vehicle, and then a indecency with a child. And it makes no sense to me that you were on parole and had opportunities through parole to get any help that you needed, and you didn't take advantage of that and were out doing whatever you were that you shouldn't have been doing and then ran. So at this time, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with previous convictions. Find those prior convictions true that you pled true to. Sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Parker. All right, you can go back with the bailiff.
This